He's 7'3", handles.
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch him, I don't know, man. Is he the third best foundation player in the league?
You got to put my boy
Who?
Giannis.
He can't shoot a jumper.
Man, he is a force. Porzingis is something different, though. He reminds me of, Dirk.
He's a little more aggressive than Dirk.
Yeah, but don't get Dirk twisted. You know what I mean? When Dirk came into the league, even though he was a finesse dude, there was nothing finesse or soft about him giving dudes 40 and 15 and 30 and, you know what I mean? So I think Porzingis is more athletic, right? He's a little bit more athletic and mobile than Dirk, but, he reminds me of Dirk as far as like his fearlessness and that is portrayed in how smooth he is in his game. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like another level of cool, where you can't really be rattled because, you know that you're that good.
By the way, these international players, there's a lot of great international players in the league. And for years and years, people kept selling us international guys. And my takeaway was always, I want a kid who grew up in Chicago.
Right.
I'll take the domestic product over the international dude. Nothing against international guys. I like my guys over here. They're playing at some park in New York.
Yeah.
They're tough. I like the American kids. Now we're starting to see international kids. You're like, wow. When you were in the league, it really does feel like it's changing. Like the international game
for sure
is better. Go back to your career. Did you always feel a little bit like initially they were a little soft, international guys, a tad soft?
I thought, more finesse.
That's a better word.
When I was young, as the international guys were coming over, they were skilled, but they had to deal with the physical, the aspect of the game. The ones who could became really good players.
Right.
But, I also played against Tony Parker and
He's
Manu
tough.
Ginobili. So they were kind of like really Dirk Nowitzki. They were the first wave of international dudes like, hold on, dude. Like, it ain't nothing soft about, like, I am an NBA player.
Right.
And I think now that you see the Porzingis, even the kid, the point guard for the Knicks, you see Giannis, you see a bunch of these international guys and Gobert, they're studs. They're studs because they already had the path. Somebody already broke that barrier.
That's right.
Ginobili, Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash.
And Baron, the word got out. International dudes don't come here soft. Like they saw the soft guys internationally failed.
Yeah, and they're also now, at a younger age, playing more international basketball. So these international guys are now playing against, the Team USA and the 15 and under nationals and, all the way to high school and college. So they're not afraid, they're used to that type of style of game. And now that the game is evolving into more of a European style game, it's more suited for, their skill set and the level of finesse, the way the league is going.
So when Chris Paul and Harden got together, I've always had this sort of belief in the NBA that intelligence is underrated. That if you go look at the greatest players in league history, they're all smart. There's no exceptions. That the Magics, the Dr. J's, the Rick Barrys, go look at their careers post-basketball. Oh, they all do well. They get into business.
Yeah.
That we just think it's all about having game.
Yeah.
But intelligence gives you a better diet, staying out of trouble, being a better teammate, making a phone call to get a teammate like LeBron. That we don't understand that the guys that last in this league like D. Wade really get the macro of the league.
Yeah.
And so when Chris Paul and Harden got together, my takeaway was two smart dudes, it'll work.
Yep.
It's just going to work. Now, I know the fit's not great.
Right.
So it is working. Are you a little surprised?
No. No, because the system. You know what I mean?
The Tony system?
Yeah, it's the perfect system for a point guard, right? And now James Harden, who is a lead guard, you know what I mean, who's become a phenomenal point guard, he can actually come off the ball. You know what I mean? And so his frustration when you watch, even though, he's been runner-up in MVP voting for the last 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
And, had not Westbrook and Steph have those amazing years, he could have easily been the MVP for carrying a big load.
Right.
Now he gets to have 25% of that load taking off of his shoulders. You know what I mean? As far as ball handling responsibilities, he can go to the bench, right? He can come in off the bench, get warmed up playing the 2 guard. And now, you know, Chris Paul has, as he gets older and, you know, he's not playing as many minutes, he gets to be super duper duper effective, right?
Right.
In that time, in that 25% that James Harden is not on the ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that leads to Chris Paul getting in rhythm and getting off to a good start. It doesn't take him much to get started. You know what I mean? So now you got a 20-10 threat in Chris Paul, and then you got a 30-10 threat in James Harden.
In the perfect system.
Right. In the perfect system. Neither one of them turn the ball over. And either Chris Paul has the ball off a pick and roll or James Harden. And everybody else is shooting.
Yeah, and it puts great duress on the other team.
Absolutely.
Because you have a world-class point guard on the court for 40 minutes. 48.
And when you look at it, James Harden is a left-hand player. Chris Paul is a right-hand player.
So then it's a difference.
Yeah, so now your defense becomes weak on both sides. So you can't prepare. You can't prepare a defensive strategy it's like,
you should be a GM.
I mean, hey man, you think? I think so too.
That's really, I've never heard that.
So too.
Why would you like to do that?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I love to put a team together. I think that especially in the league in this day and age, it's more like my approach would be like Billy Ball. Like taking a team and figuring out how do you take talent, make the talent work with young potential guys that you're developing.
All right, and finally, LeBron James.
Man.
Okay, we know he's good. Now, Christine says, and she's like, he is kind of a little needy. I know he's great.
Kind of a little.
Is it fair to say as a criticism? Or is it because he is so popular he can't even go to the mall? How do you view him as a player? Would you want to play with him?
Absolutely.
He is
Absolutely.
No problems with him.
No problem.
Not with ego, little.
Man, it's like when you look at him, you look how high he treats his teammates. You know what I mean? You look at, first of all, look at who he is compared to the most famous people in the world, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's like top 5 most famous people in the world.
Absolutely. Right.
Now, he plays basketball, right? And he's the most popular person in basketball in the world, or probably in sports in the world.
Right.
Now he's in Cleveland, and he's shining all that light on his teammates, on his friends.
Well, Kyrie didn't feel that way.
Yeah, Kyrie didn't.
But here's my take on the LeBron Kyrie thing.
All right.
There comes a point, right, when when Simba has to become a king, right?
Right.
When Simba has to turn into the Lion King.
No, that's
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And in this movie, Mufasa don't die. You feel what I'm saying?
That's a good point. That was Christine.
So Kyrie got to go,
do his thing.
Hakuna Matata and go to Boston and figure out how is he going to be his own king.
Are the shots at him really necessary?
The shots.
LeBron's taking some shots at Kyrie.
Well, Kyrie is also taking shots too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's pettiness, and that's competitiveness, and that's also like, a sense of brotherhood. You know what I mean?
Brothers fight.
And the little brother, right? The little brother who a big dog, right, is trying to tell the big brother who is the big dog, like, hey, I'm a big dog too. You know what I mean? And I'm not afraid of you.
That's part of being the younger brother. Did you have an older brother?
I don't.
Okay. Are you the older brother?
I'm the middle.
Oh,
so I got it messed up, dude.
Okay.
You
got all sorts of issues.
Yeah. Okay. I get blamed for everything.
I totally get it.
I'm the negotiator.
You got Black Santa's first annual basketball fundraiser, December 16th. Iverson's going to be there. Marcellus Wiley's a good dude's going to be there. Where is this at?
This is at Crossroads High School in Santa Monica at 2 p.m.
December 16th, 2 p.m., Crossroads High School.
In Santa Monica.
You're the only guest to ever